Hey everyone, we're back with another episode of the Road to Ripped podcast. My name's Christopher Walker, here with Greg O'Gallagher.
All right.
Greg McConaughey.
Greg McConaughey. Nah. Hold on a second. Nah. Chris, we gotta tell our listeners something real important. You know, it's we're doing this podcast all over the world. When we hit top 10 in video.
Top 10 in the world in video.
Yeah.
Thanks to you guys. Thanks for watching the video podcast.
Number one fitness podcast.
A lot of people don't actually even know that there's a video podcast.
Right.
But if you want to watch this on video, over in iTunes, there's a video podcast as well as an audio podcast. But you can go subscribe to the video.
And thank you to our Texas listeners all out there. You know, I'm done. All right, we have the mic thing again. This mic things.
These effects.
These Matthew McConaughey effects.
Messing with the effects.
Yeah.
But yeah, so today we're going to be talking about how to just some techniques to get bigger shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
This episode is sponsored and brought to you by Testro X. Testro
All
X
right.
Truth Nutra all natural testosterone producing formula. So it's a testosterone booster that actually helps stimulate natural testosterone production, specifically designed for that. It's unlike anything else on the market. If you're interested in that kind of thing, go over and check out testrox.com, TESTROX.com.
Awesome. Yeah, check out the supplement. Really cool stuff. And actually, it's going to correlate a little bit to what we're about to talk about in this episode.
Yeah.
You'll see kind of, if you stay tuned, if you
androgen receptor availability.
Yeah, we'll get into all that pretty soon. But the first kind of thing is, why would you even want to build big shoulders? You see, the sign of a really well-developed physique, that Hollywood physique, the one that looks amazing, and the most important sign is one of the most important signs is your shoulder development. If your shoulder development really exudes masculinity, and unfortunately today, so many guys are they're so focused on building their chest and their arms, they don't do enough work for their shoulders, and they never achieve a sleek physique.
Yeah, shoulders have become my most favorite thing, because sometimes when you look at like some guys only do arms, for example, and they'll have like a weirdly large biceps in proportion to the shoulders. The shoulders are small and the biceps are big, and they kind of like flare out.
Yeah. It's not a good look. If you ever remember watching Jersey Shore, those were the Jersey Shore guys.
Yeah.
They're just chest and arms. Yep. Big booby chests and big arms, and then flat shoulders. And you're looking at this and you're like, something's off about this physique.
Yeah.
Something is missing. Like they have these big muscles, but it just doesn't seem powerful or masculine or aesthetic. And it's simply because they don't do their shoulders. One of the most comments I get the most is, Greg, how do you get those shoulders so big? How do you get the rounded shoulders? And most training programs today, they just don't address what you need to really develop solid shoulder size.
Yeah. So in this episode, we're going to walk through some of Greg's favorite shoulder exercises to get those round shoulders, big shoulders, broad. And then also look at, I've got a trick to open up androgen receptor availability in your shoulders.
Right.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess kind of as far as the androgen receptor thing is, one of the things with shoulders is so your shoulders, your upper chest, your traps have the highest androgen receptor density, right? Or
the possibility is there. So one thing that people don't understand about androgen receptors is that you hear common
and for
advice.
Those that don't know what androgen receptors are.
Oh, okay. So basically, you're going to have these naturally produced steroid hormones in your body that, for example, testosterone. That your body produces naturally. However, part of the equation is that you need that hormone to bind to a receptor in order for it to activate the cascade of downstream effects that it can have, which in the case of testosterone is anabolic. So you need it to be able to bind to enough receptors. Part of the issue that people have, some people have a healthy testosterone level, but they there's another hormone called SHBG, which binds to that free testosterone and makes it so it can't bind to an androgen receptor. So there's a few pieces of this equation that are important, but one of them is you need more androgen receptors available as binding sites if you want to have the full effect. The thing with the shoulder, the muscle tissue in your legs, you can't increase. Researchers have found that you cannot increase the amount of androgen receptors available in leg muscles. However, you can in areas like your traps, like your shoulders, your upper back. Those areas you can actually increase the amount of binding sites that are available. And that's why you actually see when people go on steroid cycles, for example, they get really, really big traps. They get big shoulders, and it just kind of, it happens. Like, it builds up so quickly. And that's why a lot of these guys, when they go to that like super physiological level of these hormones, while increasing the binding site availability, they lose their neck. Like where did the neck go? Because the traps are so damn big that gets out of there. But you can take advantage of this naturally without using the steroids, and then without getting that unnatural look. But you can maximize the amount of androgen receptor sites available by specifically training in a certain way that we're going to talk about some of the ideas and some of the exercises, but also by using, there's a supplement known as L-carnitine, which actually has been found to increase the androgen receptor site uptake of these hormones and the availability of the sites. So if you're looking to really build up your shoulders, just kind of the combo of using something like L-carnitine.
L-carnitine tartrate, right? That's the one in the research.
L-carnitine L-tartrate.
Yeah.
With in conjunction with the right training, and you're going to see an actually even bigger effect.
Yeah, you could add the Testro X too to kind of get the double effect.
Well, yeah, and then the Testro X is going to stimulate more testosterone. So if you have the double whammy of having more testosterone being produced by your body in the blood, as well as more androgen receptor sites available for binding that testosterone, you're going to see along with the proper training, you're going to see a lot of progress.
That's also probably why like shoulders are such a strong sign of masculinity and dominance, is because it's a representation of the testosterone, the androgen receptors.
It is, yeah, and most people don't know, like they don't actively know that, but it's like this subconscious wiring into our biology that we quote know that. And
then the worst look is, again, like you see some of these guys that literally maybe they have shoulder issues, and it's probably because they don't train properly, but they just do so much chest stuff. They don't train the shoulders, and they have these big hunking pecs, droopy pecs, and flat little shoulders. Yeah. And it looks almost feminine in a way, because that's what girls have. Girls have boobs and small little shoulders.
Yeah.
So train themselves to look like a bigger version of a girl's.
I'd say it'd be preferable to do less chest training and just have bigger shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. I limit my chest training just pretty much to the incline press that builds upper chest nice, some heavy weighted dips, and then that's it. That's all I do.
Well, and it goes back into all the principles of Kinobody, right? Having the ratios.
Yeah.
Like the ratio that's most important for a male attraction is the shoulder to waist, right?
Exactly.
Not the chest to waist or whatever.
Yeah, so the shoulder to waist is fundamentally the most important, and you can build up that ratio through building up your shoulders, and even your upper back helps expand that. But so let's get down to brass tacks as far as how do you build the shoulders. This is one of the things so many guys struggle with in the gym. They're working out, maybe they gain some muscle, but they never get the shoulder size they want. Their shoulders never get rounded and full. And the first really thing we got to address here is that, what I've said time and time again is that building muscle is pretty closely tied to strength. So for example, if Chris is only able to dumbbell shoulder press 45-pound dumbbells per arm, he's not going to have really big shoulders. There's no question about it. The stronger you get on your compound movements related to the muscle growth, the muscle group, the more those shoulders will grow. So I so many times I have guys like, oh, I can't build big shoulders. How do you get big shoulders? I'm like, well, tell me, what are you doing for your shoulders? And sometimes they're not even doing anything. They're just doing chest and back, and
expect it to grow.
And at the end of the workout, they'll do like a little something for their shoulders. It's like, no, if you're gonna build your shoulders, you gotta actually put in the effort there. You gotta actually give it the time. But a lot of times they're like, oh yeah, so I do for dumbbell shoulder press, I do like 40-pound dumbbells. I'm like, that's not gonna work. I did that when I was 15, 14. I'm like, you got to get stronger. I mean, Chris and I were at the gym in LA this must have been a few months ago, and we went to the LA Fitness there, and we were hitting up the hundreds, 105s,
105s,
right down to the ears that get that nice full range, and we're throwing those up, and that's what it takes, to really maximize shoulder muscle naturally. If you're on the steroids, if you're on a lot of drugs, you can grow muscle without having to get too strong, without having to worry about, getting strong. But if you're doing it naturally, you really have to hit that progressive overload very, very effectively. So don't worry about doing the 100-pound dumbbells right now, or, for example, if you're doing a standing barbell press, don't worry about doing 175, 180-pound press. find out where you are right now. The only thing you need to do is start to slowly work on building that strength up. Slowly work on building that strength, get the 50-pound dumbbells, get to the 70-pound dumbbells, get to the 80-pound dumbbells, or get to the 135-pound standing press for 5 reps. And again, as far as the rep range is concerned, with the protocol that we really find to be very effective for building muscle and strength is reverse pyramid training, where, for example, and this is a great way to build strength. If you have a hard time building strength, try it this way. Do your first set, the heavy set first, for 4 to 6 reps. Rest a few minutes, 3 minutes. Drop the weight, 10%ish. Then do 6 to 8. Drop the weight, rest. Do drop it again, 10%ish, and then do 8 to 10. Then you're hitting that full gap between 4 to 10 reps, and that's where with compound movements you're going to see a lot of strength gain, a lot of muscle growth. So if you go to the gym, for example, and you're hitting your shoulders for one of your workouts, if you start, if you grab the 80-pound dumbbells, you knock out 6 reps, you rest, you don't go down to 70s, you knock out, 7, 8 reps, you rest, you knock out the 60s, you finish off at 10 reps, boom, you come in stronger, you try and get a few more reps, and eventually as you get a lot more reps and you increase the weight again, you keep going, your shoulders will grow very, very predictably. And even doing stuff like even the incline press is going to still hit the front delt pretty nice. Even weighted dips is still going to hit the front delt pretty nice. But you need that heavy shoulder pressing, getting stronger, getting bigger. It's not that complicated. Get strong in your shoulder presses. They will grow. Now, the other thing that we need to address, of course, is that to really get that full rounded cap look, you're looking at the medial delt and the posterior delt. And the medial delt and posterior delt, they're not working as hard on shoulder presses. Of course, they're getting some work, they're growing, but to really get the maximum hypertrophy, what we found is you want to be doing some solid lateral raises and bent over flies or machine flies so you can actually work the 3 heads of the shoulders effectively. And the thing with lateral raises and rear delts is that it's a movement, it's an isolation movement, and you got to do it for higher reps. If you try and do 5, 6 reps on lateral raises, you're going to put all the stress on the joints. It's not going to do too much. So what you do is you do rest pause training. So you take a weight, maybe it's 20 pounds for your lateral raises, maybe it's 25, and you do 10 to 20 reps. And you get this crazy burn in your shoulders. Your shoulders be fried. You rest 10 seconds, just 10 seconds, and then you do same weight. You do like 5, 6 reps. Rest 10 seconds, same weight, 5, 6 reps, rest 10 seconds, 5, 6 reps. So you do basically 10 to 20 reps, puts 3 sets of 5, same weight, but that rest pause set, it makes sure that as you do that, at each rep, you're getting maximum muscle fiber recruitment. So very, very powerful stuff. Every person I've shared this with the heavy reverse pyramid training, shoulder pressing, plus, the rest pause, lateral raises, the rest pause, rear delts, they're blown away. They're like, holy crap, I didn't think I could grow my shoulders like this naturally. And their shoulders are growing, they're getting fuller, more rounded, more capped. And it works gangbusters.
What was the name of that one exercise that we did at the Los Hotel? It
was killer.
Where you're doing that?
So there's the Cuban press. So these little really cool isolation movements really are the icing on the cake for your shoulders. They give that more rounded, full look.
Yeah, so, after you maximize the pressing, heavy press. Yeah.
And so the one we did was the Cuban press, basically, where you'll have the 2 dumbbells, basically down by your side, and then you're going to lift your elbows up till they're right in line with your shoulders, and then you're going to rotate them back, get that external rotation, which hits the rear delts really nice, and then you're going to press over top. And it's this fluid motion that you're putting all that work on the entire shoulder region. You're hitting the front, the rear, and the lateral delt, and you do 15, 20 reps, some rest pause reps.
You're fried after that.
Your shoulders are blowing up.
I remember what you were like, yo, just do 15 pounds or something.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, sure. And I remember the first couple reps, you're like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah.
And then you get to 8 reps, and you're just like,
oh my god.
Fuck.
And then you get to 15, and you're fried. Then you rest 10 seconds, you do a few more, and you're like, oh my god.
Barely lift your arms after you do it.
Yeah, that's what it really takes to really get that full cap shoulder look. But I don't know anyone that trains like this that doesn't do a Kino Body or a Thor program.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that does this stuff.
No. It's effective.
Yeah.
And again, if you really want to maximize that anabolic effect in the right areas, training this way is going to really help that. And
right.
That's why it works.
Your body adapts to the demands imposed upon it. When you train right, when you do that, you're going to see pretty incredible results. And one of the things that's important is that, like, if you're doing these damn bodybuilding splits where you're in the gym every day for 2 hours, it's too taxing your body. You're not going to see those gains as a natural lifter, as a natural athlete. What you have to do to really see those amazing shoulder gains is you got to kind of cut back on a little bit. So You might not be doing 5 exercises for your chest. You might not be doing an hour-long arm workout because your body only has so many reserves to grow, to build muscle. If you're just doing way too much, well, you know, your reserves are spread way too thin. You're not going to be able to put that muscle where you really want to. So you got to be very strategic with how you set up your training. And you know, one of the issues when people try and do some of the advice I give, but they don't do it in the right context. They're like trying to add. It's like a chef that's making a recipe. You can't just add more and more stuff and then put in this spice and then this and this and this.
You start adding too much and it doesn't even taste good.
And that's like, this is shit. So you gotta take stuff out and put stuff in. It's like even like the Bruce Lee approach: discard what works and keep what works, discard what works.
Discard what works, keep what doesn't. That's the loose brie approach.
Yeah, exactly. But you keep what works, you discard what doesn't. And you kind of got to refine down. When you refine down, you see pretty amazing results. And that's why my courses, they're all structured to build that ratio, to build the V shape, to build the rounded shoulders, the sleek upper chest. You can check it out at kinojourney.com. Kinojourney.com. I'm going to pinpoint exactly what your body type is so I can best help you and then show you, here's how you get the physique type. Here's how you get the great shoulders, the sculpted chest and everything, so on and so forth. That's at kinojourney.com. The other thing to talk about is one of body fat. So, what I found is that to have really rounded capped shoulders, you can't have too much fat on your body. If you have a little fat in your body, it's going to blur the rounded look.
Yeah.
So
that's what I found, even just dropping
30 pounds.
I'm like, shit, my shoulders look bigger and my arms look bigger.
They look bigger, yeah, because interestingly enough, like your body, the muscle, your proportion is completely tied to your muscle. Having the sculpted shoulders and arms and the sleek waist, that's all your muscle. But when you add the fat to it, the fat completely disrupts that proportion. Yeah. Because then when you add the fat, then the shoulders no longer pop. Even though the shoulders might technically, there's more fat deposits in it, it just completely ruins the look. And then interestingly enough, also the shoulders appear bigger when your waist is small.
Yeah.
So it's simple mathematics. If your waist is 6 inches bigger and you have the same shoulders, well, the eyes it's gonna seem smaller. But then if you have like your shoulders are they're tight because they're capped up because there's no fat in them, and your waist is small, it's gonna be like bam, it's gonna be pretty damn
Get
crazy.
The right proportion.
Yeah, and I can't think of too many people that actually have really achieved really nice developed shoulders. Actually, one kind of good example is if you look at is Ryan Reynolds when he got into shape, shredded up for Blade Trinity, because he was so lean, his shoulders were completely sculpted.
Amityville Horror. Yeah,
he had those nice really lean shoulders. But a great example actually of more muscle sizes is Thor. So when they're getting Chris Hemsworth ready for Thor, they had a specific look in mind. They wanted to really focus on his back and his shoulders, so he looked really powerful. And those were kind of the muscles he was wielding when he was using his hammer. The hammer. Yeah. It's a hammer throwing around this big hammer. If you think about it, that's in your shoulders and your back, and your arms. So they really put a lot of attention on his arms, shoulders, and back to give him that huge look. And his chest was developed, but it wasn't the most overpowered muscle group.
Well, that's what you see on the show Vikings too.
Yeah.
They specifically wanted the actors to work out in a way that made their shoulders look bigger, because I mean, these dudes are swinging axes around and the whole time. They had to naturally look just big and imposing. What you don't see these giant like puffy chests though.
And in natural like lifting and like if you go back even the Viking days, you're not using your chest too much. You're lifting stuff over your head, right? You're throwing stuff.
You're pressing things,
you're wielding things. You're swinging. You're lifting objects off the ground, but you're not lying down pushing stuff up and down.
Yeah, unless you get trapped under a horse or something. But that'd be the most random thing to happen.
Right. The only thing you would be doing with your chest is maybe more of an incline movement, like you're pushing something up over something, and it's
like
more
lifting something up a hill
or like pushing. Like that's all like that's more shoulder in the top layer, the upper chest. So it's like this, even the aesthetic that we talk about that looks good, it comes also down to functionality.
Yeah.
And athleticism, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, my brother and I found we found the workout for the actor who does Bjorn in Vikings, and it's almost exactly the same as the Thor program.
Come on, wow.
Yeah,
because it makes sense.
Because it puts all that emphasis on getting those bigger shoulders, traps.
Yeah.
And it works. And you can tell even with our cameraman, Zach.
Yeah, Zach went through amazing
transformation. We'll do an episode with Zach, talk about it exactly. But
he dropped a bunch of fat and added sweet, like the good muscle size.
Yeah, made a big difference.
And that's what people always comment. They tell me, like, it's like crazy, Greg. Like, everyone that does your program, they kind of end up with that. They have a similar look. They end up with.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, because it's all dialed in. It's building up that certain proportion.
Yep.
It's even if you go back to the modern, like the classic. Well, they did the sculptures, back in ancient Greece and Rome, etc. They didn't give them these big puffy chests. It was like a sleek, masculine, square plate of armor chest, nice rounded shoulders.
Yep, exactly.
So guys, if you want to learn more about how to really master your physique in this way, well, you're going to want to go to kenojourney.com, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to find out exactly where you are right now. I'm going to pinpoint where you are. Are you skinny fat? Do you have a lot of fat to lose? Do you have to put on some muscle? Are you in pretty damn good shape, but we got to do a few little things? I'm going to pinpoint where you are, and I'm going to give you basically the exact strategy you need to follow to achieve the look that we're talking about. That's at kenojourney.com. And a couple other things from the episode earlier, you might have heard the L-carnitine tartrate can help increase the binding sites for androgen receptors, and then the Chris's supplement at testrox.com can help increase your testosterone production naturally by using the right ingredients that are based on research to increase testosterone. The right ingredients and nutrients and
organic herbs too.
Herbs.
Yep.
So
cool.
That's it for today.
Yeah. Subscribe to the podcast. You'll always get up to date on all of our new episodes, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Boom shakalum.
Boom shakalum.